Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I never thought in a million years I would ever make this video. So this is like nuts. I know, I was you. I sat in that chair and I watched these videos obsessively. Like, I'm not even lying. I probably spent hours in the night thinking I was supposed to be going to sleep and watching videos on how to fix my skin. And full disclosure, my skin is not 100%, and truthfully, it probably never will be, and I'm okay with that. But to be to the point where I can wear, like, I can go out of the house with, like, no makeup or just a BB cream and not a full face foundation is insane, somewhere I never thought I would be. And I promised myself once I got to this point, I would share it, because I know, I've been in your shoes. I know what this feels like. I know, like, your face is what people see first, and it doesn't matter what people say. Like, it just always feels terrible to, have a bunch of acne all over your face. So let's start from the beginning. I want to kind of tell you my story and why or how I got to where I am at now. So from about age 15 to 20, I was on birth control. And I wasn't on birth control because I was sexually active. I was on birth control because I had extremely painful periods. So I started very, very young at 15. And I was on a regimen where, like, I would not have a period for pretty much 6 months at a time. So I never got off my birth control. I never had the hormone flux of a period other than like twice a year. My skin was flawless. And if I can find a picture of me around that age group, I'll insert it here. I'm pretty sure the camera footage or the cameras at that time weren't as good, so it might be like a little bit lower of a quality, but I'll insert it. So never had a skin issue a day in my life. Then all of a sudden around 20, my birth control that I was on for that long had discontinued and I had to get onto another birth control. So my OBGYN prescribed me a 3-month package. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, but they're like 3 months in a row that you take and you don't skip at all. And I can't remember, I think it's called like Seasonique or something, or whatever, don't quote me. But I started taking that, and pretty much within like the first 2 weeks, my skin hated me. I mean, I went from absolutely not a zit to, I mean, it wasn't super bad comparatively, but definitely had a good amount of breakouts. So I stopped it right away, and then I just decided like I wasn't gonna do birth control anymore, thinking that that would just fix the problem. So around 21, I decided I wasn't gonna do birth control, and my acne was never really bad. It definitely was, I would say, normal, like when my hormones flared up or anything like that. There was always a spot on my face at some point, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't anything that I was self-conscious about. It just was what it was. Then when I was 23, I got pregnant with my son, Liam, and my face just like full bore hated me. And I'll try to insert a picture here if I have one, but truthfully, like around that time, I really wasn't taking a lot of pictures. And I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about, but like, yeah, I just didn't want to see my face. So around that time, my face like really started to get mad. And the acne had gotten pretty bad, pretty cystic. And so I decided to go on a regimen called acne.org. And this regimen is pretty much very similar to Proactive. It uses benzoyl peroxide to fight acne, which is a very powerful ingredient when it comes to acne, but it has a lot of negative side effects. So even though my acne had like cleared, and I do have a picture, I'll insert it somewhere in the frame, but even though my acne had cleared, I was suffering with a lot of dry skin. I feel like my skin looked really dull. I looked older than I was. Granted, I was 23, and when I smiled, I had like smile lines really bad. My skin just did not look healthy. So even though it was clear, I was suffering from a lot of other things. Like, literally my skin was flaking off at pretty much all points. And then you're wearing makeup to hide that, and your makeup's like flaking. It almost looks worse than just having the acne. So that happened. And then I decided, after reading a bunch of reviews about like why was this happening to my face, I had done it for about, I would say, close to 2 years. I had been on this regimen, this 3-step regimen, and like I said, it was working for my acne, but it was like killing my face. So I started looking up reviews of like what was happening and why this was happening, and people were like, get off of that because it is rude. It ages you 5 years. It does a bunch of bad things for your face. And then when you get off of it, it's like your face has to go through a detox. I quit that day. That was probably last March. So this is about a year ago. My face retaliated. Like within a couple of days of quitting that, the worst acne I had ever had. It was bad. It was really bad. So I was thinking like, okay, well, this is a purge, right? Whatever. It was not a purge. I waited months and months and months and months because some people said like it cleared up after 6 months. That was not the case. It just got more angry. And yeah, I felt really hopeless. I didn't know what to do. And let me tell you right now, guys, seriously, I like pride myself on my health. I had been a whole food vegan or whole food plant-based for years. And, you know, I had tried gluten-free and sugar-free. I had done, you know, just everything under the sun. I had tried every skin product. I tried every vitamin, every hormonal balance vitamin, like, you know, just everything that every YouTube or any research I had ever done, I tried it. I did it. And my skin literally saw no results. I felt extremely hopeless. And then I finally had an aha moment and I decided to go see an esthetician and a naturopath because I felt like at that point, and if you don't know what a naturopath is or you don't know what an esthetician is, a naturopath is essentially a holistic doctor who tries to fix, he doesn't want to give you he or she doesn't want to give you a band-aid. They want to actually figure out what's going on inside of you. And then an esthetician is someone who specializes in skincare. So I saw my naturopath and it was like, I was probably there for like 3 hours and he was going over like, what do you do on a day-to-day? What does your diet look like? How much water do you drink? You know, he just wanted to know how healthy was I? Like how healthy was I claiming to be? How healthy was I actually? And after we had met for a couple hours, he was stumped. Everything that I was doing, he would have recommended, and obviously nothing was working. So the next thing he did was he drew blood to see what maybe if I was lacking in something. It was pretty much our next step, the only thing that we could do. So he drew blood and I waited for a couple of weeks and he called me and he was like, there's something not right because you're deficient in vitamin A, vitamin D. I was pretty much anemic. I was anemic. I had some sort of blood infection. Like it was crazy. Like pretty much every vitamin I was deficient in, and it didn't make sense. I was living this extremely healthy lifestyle, you know, working out and eating really good. We ate, you know, just whole foods, and it wasn't adding up why this was happening. And I also went to my esthetician and, you know, she did a lot of acne treatments and gave me a lot of skincare, and yeah, it helped maybe 10%, but it definitely did not clear me up or come even close. So I was stumped. I did not know, like, okay, am I gonna have to live with this forever? My naturopath told me that I needed to start taking pretty much an extensive vitamin regimen. So I got all the vitamins that I was deficient on. I got like this elixir of iron, and I started doing that every single day. And then I also did some other things, like I drank peppermint tea, spearmint tea, just in case my testosterone was too high. And then I also started seed cycling. And if you don't know what that is, I can go on that into like another vlog. But truthfully, like if it would have been more mild, maybe I would have saw results, but it was just too severe. It was too intense. It was too inflamed. And my esthetician, yeah, she, like I said, she maybe got like 10%, but there was really no helping me. So then I started like thinking about it and listening to things, and I started to remember about 2 years ago, prior to all of this, I had breast implants, and I had silicone implants, and I started hearing things when it comes to implantation illness, and I felt like I was pulling at straws at this point. Like I was just so desperate. I was just trying to like find any reason that this could be happening to me, because I'm telling you, I tried everything. Like if there was proactive about doing something about it, I was that person. And I just felt like nothing helped. So I finally decided, I was like, okay, well, it's my boobs. My boobs have to be doing this to me. So after like a lot of research and a lot of like, you know, looking for plastic surgeons and figuring out what I had to do and speaking with my esthetician who had also had this whole thing happen to her, I was like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to get my implants removed. I got my implants removed about 3 months ago at this point. This is a picture of me 3 months ago. It is day and night. I have to say, it's probably about 90% better in 3 months. It's insane. So yeah, my boobs were literally like killing me slowly. And I know that sounds insane. It sounds crazy. Me saying it sounds crazy. Like, it's crazy. But if you think about it, it makes sense. Like, something foreign in your body's constantly fighting it off, and it causes inflammation, and, you know, your hormones are all imbalanced, and it causes acne. And I will say, 100% my skin is not perfect, right? Like, it's not perfect, and it probably will never be perfect, and I'm okay with that. I wasn't looking for perfection. Truthfully, that's not attainable. But for me to be able to go out and wear a BB cream instead of a full face of foundation is an extremely dramatic change. And I really started just paying attention to my body. And I will disclose right now, it was not just my boobs, okay? I do a lot of other things to prevent my skin from being bad. I just naturally have acne-prone skin. And so I have to be proactive in what I do to prevent my acne from flaring up. I do live a dairy-free, sugar-free, gluten-free diet. It is heavily plant-based, and I do work out regularly. I also have a pretty, and I wouldn't say intense, I do practice skincare good habits all the time. I actually enjoy it. It's kind of a hobby of mine. So I do really take care of my skin on a sustainable level. The other thing that I'm still suffering with is scarring, and it's not so much, it's mostly hyperpigmentation. So I've been doing Aesthetician microneedling and some stuff like that to fix my scarring, but scarring can heal, especially hyperpigmentation. It can heal with time. I just decided to fast track it because I could. I just promised myself, I know, like, I was on the other side of that screen, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you, there was like three things I'm gonna recommend that really helped me. Number one, I would say go see a naturopath. If you can, go see a naturopath, because a doctor, they're gonna give you, you know, and no offense if you're on the antibiotics for acne, but it's really bad for you, and the side effects are extremely awful. And that was just not an option for me. And same thing with benzoyl peroxide. Like, it's really effective, but it has all these negative side effects, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted that like healthy, glowing skin. And like I said, my skin's not perfect, but it's definitely way better than it was. And just going to a naturopath and saying like, okay, well, I'm deficient in all these vitamins. Obviously something's going on. And he kind of just gave me a direction and steered me in that direction. And if it's hormonal, they can also check that out too. But, you know, that was like the first step, is I went to go see my naturopath, and he gave me a direction to go in. And an esthetician is also great if you have the money to like heal up the process or give you a direction of like where you should be going. And so that's my tip number 2, is like a naturopath and an esthetician. Tip number 3 is like, diet is a huge factor of your skin, like huge. Dairy, sugar, all those things, they really trigger inflammation. They really trigger insulin spike, and they trigger acne at the end of the day. I actually tested it the other day. My husband made vegan cupcakes. They were not gluten-free and they were not sugar-free. And so I, of course, indulged because I cannot help myself. And I had 2 cupcakes. The next morning, I woke up with this guy. It's crazy. My skin was clear. I woke up with a couple of zits the next morning. So obviously there's a correlation there. So diet is my 3rd tip. Naturopath, esthetician, and diet. And I'm telling you, once you just be proactive, there is a reason behind it, okay? People don't just have acne. Your body is telling you something is wrong. It's just narrowing it down to figure out what that is. And I know it sounds like really out there, but I did it. And I'm not gonna lie, it took a couple years and a lot of tears, and I understand what it feels like, and no one else understands. Like, no one understands what it's like to be covered in acne. Like, you want to hide your face, you want to cake on makeup, and it just looks worse when you have makeup caked on, and like, Trust me, I totally understand. And it's just insane that I'm on this side of the camera and I'm telling you, like, you can be on this side of the camera. You just have to be proactive about it and you have to figure out what's going on with your body. Your body's just trying to tell you something. And yeah, like that's, it's not overnight, just anyway. So I'm going to be posting more often. I'm going to try to be posting once a week. Hit subscribe because it really supports my channel. And also like if you want to see more. You guys have a great day.